We all know the story.
All of
Or at
his
least how it
co-workers were
starts.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We already seen the new content. It's old content now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes. You know, it's kind of hard at this point to think.
Yet
We've
there was
done.
not a single
We've
person
done
here
6.
either.
We've done.
Feeling a
Hold
wave
on.
of disbelief, Stanley
We've done
decided
6
to go
endings
up to
at
his
this
boss's
point.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Broom closet. Okay, hold on. I don't think.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
There has to be a
There was
reason for
nothing
this.
here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason
No.
to still be here.
No, there's dialogue here, so there's gotta be a reason. If you're talking, then I'm staying. You say another word, and I'm staying.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Well, we keep doing fuck all if you keep talking.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Mm-hmm.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Because you keep
Please
talking.
offer me some explanation here. I'm
I'm
genuinely
talking and you're
confused.
not listening. I think that's the issue. This is the issue that I think we both have to confront here. More so maybe you.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Well, I mean, there is.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
Uh-huh.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I think they'll find it admirable.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also,
Oh.
Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Oh. Well, Stanley sounds like a pretty cool guy, if you ask me.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You
No.
got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
I don't like that. That's
In a
freaking me out.
situation
I'm a
like
little
this,
too vain
the
for you to say
responsible thing
that
is to
to
alert
you.
someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological
I'm going a little
vulnerabilities.
crazy in this
It's
closet.
indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
If you're really done talking, Mr. Narrator, I will. No words? No words? No words? That's crazy. I can't believe.
Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
He does sound legitimately defeated. I don't know if he's really gonna come back. He might have gone. Actually, he might have left. We might have a narratorless playthrough on our hands.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Do I? I'm trying to think if I'm pretty sure I've gone down before. Nothing in here. No quirky narration for this room.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Should I just go all the way?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it
Should we
had never
finally let
occurred to him?
the narrator
This
cook?
question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What was that one up there? Oh.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
This is
His
moving.
own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Man, I wonder. I remember that one ending. I wonder how we. What was that thing blowing up there? Oh, this is a light bulb. I thought it was glowing on the pipe. I wonder how you get through that ending. Oh, wait. This must be the escape hatch. What if that was just open the whole time? We'll figure it out.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
I'm going back to my office. Nothing happens. That is nothing for you, narrator. Okay. No, I'll turn it off. I don't feel like looking up how to... Is this the Stanley ending?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Is there anything I can do to disobey this? I don't think so. Well, what a happy ending, huh?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.